users spend an average of 21 minutes a day on Instagram. So just from those statistics alone, it like is mind blowing to me, like how many people every single day are reading your posts and watching. Yes, you can close the door, please. Okay, so now I'm just gonna get right into it, and I'm gonna do this training. I'm just gonna tell you what I do every single day. And like I said, if you guys aren't doing it this way, I would recommend trying it out. Oh good, you're recording. Recommend trying it out and just see if it makes a difference in your business. So the very first thing that people always ask me is public versus private, and this is a personal choice. I have mine on private. I actually had it on private one at a time for the past. Well, I've been in the business 2 years, so for the past 2 years, it's always been on private. Lately, though, I have been putting it on public for a few hours a day. The main reason is because I feel like more people will be able to see my post. And to me, it's a little easier. Like if I'm following people, it's easier because they can, instead of me having to go in and accept people who are requesting to follow me back, it automatically lets them. But as you know, there are a ton of spam accounts and a lot of distributors. So you do, if you have it on public, you do want to check it and make sure you're not, you don't have 700 It Works distributors following you. So again, it's a personal choice. If you are private right now, stop. If you're private, I would suggest probably keeping it that way for a little while until maybe you have a couple thousand followers, and then just like put it on for a little bit, make the difference. You get more followers, see if you get more interaction. But I don't think it's something that's going to make or break your business. The next thing is followers. So when I joined, I had about 200 followers, and I quickly learned that was not even close to enough for.
So rude. You're rude. I was trying to help you. I was trying to give you advice. Because I hold a grudge, and you were rude before you went in there.
Melissa, do you mind muting yourself? Oh, there she goes. Okay, so, hold on. All right, so followers, the reason why it's important to have a lot of followers is because, I mean, it's common sense. More people are seeing your stuff every day. So if you are showing the same, things to the same people every day, your business is only going to go so far. But if you're adding people constantly to your network, then you're adding leads, you're adding potential. So I personally noticed a huge difference in my business when I got to around 2,000 followers. This is when I started having people reach out to me, leaving comments on my posts, asking me questions. I would wake up and have messages in my inbox. That was right around 2,000 followers. So where I get them from, for those of you who, let me just look real quick because I'm sure some of you, okay, yeah, we do have some new people. Okay, so for those of you who may not have even done this before, or maybe you're just trying to look for a new way, just take a few notes. One really good place to start would be boutiques. So Google whatever town is. So
yeah, but on the other side,
I would Google boutiques in Valparaiso, Florida, and then whatever comes up.
You want. Really? You know what's in there.
Nothing again. Melissa, you unmuted yourself. Okay, so whatever boutiques come up, go to Instagram. You'll see the little search icon, and then once you, if they have that, I'm sorry, I'm like getting really distracted by this. If that boutique Instagram, click on that. there's two different ways to do this. You can either look at the most recent posts that boutique made on Instagram, and then go to all the people who liked it, and then start following them. But the key is, like, you don't want to just scroll through and click follow, 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 follow. Click on the profile. First, make sure it's not a distributor. If it's private, then obviously you can't tell a whole lot, but you'll be able to tell if there's what the picture is. So if it's a picture of a person and not like a weird logo or something strange, that's the first thing I look for. And then the other thing I look for is their followers. I used to say, do they have at least like 200 followers? But honestly, I don't even do that anymore, because you can learn this. Like, if you only have 50 followers, that's okay. You can learn how to add more. So I really don't judge people by that anymore. Not that I was judging them, but you get what I'm saying. But if they have 50 followers and they're following 5,000, I'm probably not going to follow them, because they're not going to ever see my posts. If they have 5,000 people they're following, I'm just going to like fly by their newsfeed. So just make sure it's a person. Make sure they have, I would say, at least like 20 followers. And if it's public, then you can actually scroll through for like a second. Don't waste a whole lot of time on it, but just quickly glance, make sure it's not a distributor. And then make sure, like, go to their most recent post and make sure that they've posted at least within like the past week. You don't want to follow somebody who posted last year, because clearly they're not active on Instagram. So check for those things real quick. If they meet that criteria, then follow them. Now, if they're public, then when you click on follow, you also want to like at least their first 5 or 6 pictures, because then they're going to know when they get onto their Instagram account, they're going to notice that, hey, who's this Ashley girl who is following me now and like the last like 5 or 6 pictures? And if you add a comment, that's even better, because people love comments on their pictures. A like is awesome, but we all really like a comment too. So, but it needs to be like a genuine comment. So if there's like a picture of a mom with her baby, I could comment something about her baby. Or, if somebody has really awesome shoes, I might say like, I love your shoes, where'd you get them? Just something very genuine and complimentary to them. And so again, when they get onto their Instagram, they're going to have all these notifications. They're going to all be a lot of them are going to be from you, and you're requesting to follow them. So they're very likely to want to follow you back, because they're going to be curious to who you are. So when they do follow you back, what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to look at your profile. If you are doing everything that we teach you, which is posting consistently, not being salesy, so they're not going to look and see a whole bunch of it works ads, and you're talking about yourself and your family, then they're either going to be like, okay, like, she seems cool, whatever, I'll follow her back. Or they might immediately be interested. They may not message you right away, but they might be like, what is she talking about? And now they're going to be watching you. To me, that whole like formula, if you want to call it, you can't skip any of those steps. You can't just randomly follow people. You can't not like on their pictures, because people don't like that. There's too many network marketing people out there now who are very salesy, and they take shortcuts, and they're going to immediately be turned off if you aren't engaging with them. So make sure you do all of those things. Now, as for how else to follow people, you can also, one really cool thing to do if you want to grow like a local team is to search in your local Starbucks, like put in whatever city and state you're in, and then anybody who's been there to that Starbucks and left like a hashtag or tag themselves, they'll come up, like their pictures will come up, and then go to their account, do the same thing, like their pictures, and ask to follow them. Or if you don't go to Starbucks, just put in somewhere you go, like Target, Starbucks, like any baby stores, like those places are places that I go to, so that's what I'm going to put in. But if you don't like Starbucks or coffee, then obviously don't do that. but just think of where you like to go and start following people that way. Once you have like a lot of people or like a couple hundred followers, then start following their followers. So, click on followers at the top, scroll through, pick one random person, and then go to their followers and still do the same thing, still like their pictures, comment on there, and then follow them. That's been like my favorite thing to do recently, because sometimes you run out of ideas, like where can I go today? Because you don't ever want to search for something that every distributor is looking for, like weight loss, stay at home mom, twin mom, like whatever hashtag you can think of that every other distributor is already thought of. You don't want to follow those people because they probably have at least 10 distributors following them.
Hey, Ashley.
Hey,
Hey, it's Shelby. Can I add a tip as well
of
that
course.
just goes along with that? Another great option for when you're like, where am I going to find people to follow is if you go to, and now I can't remember what it's called. Okay. So if you click on the little magnifying glass and that brings you up to like the search page, normally, or not normally, always, everything that you see there is stuff that Instagram thinks you would be interested in just based on like past likes and searches and stuff. So like if you scroll through, you're probably going to see a ton of stuff that interests you. So then one that like really stands out to you, like right now I'm looking at it and there's one with like a really cute puppy, like I love dogs. So I'm going to click on it. And then a lot of times it's people that have a lot of followers. So like I just clicked on this one with a dog and this person has 18,000 followers. So that's like a jackpot for me because now I'm going to go to this person's followers and I'm going to follow, based on the things that Ashley said. Like I'm not just going to follow. I'm going to make sure they have like an appropriate Facebook picture. I'm going to make sure they have like a full name and it's not just like a spam account, but I'm going to follow in here. And I know that they also like dogs or, something like I know that we have a similar interest because they're following this person and I'm following this person. So that's a really great way to follow people that that you share an interest with, because in my opinion, that's like a huge key to it. Like if you're a college student and you go follow 2,000 moms, then, and I'm not saying you can't sign moms that are distributors, but you're more likely to sign other college students if you're a college student, because you can be like, you can talk about how the business is doing stuff for you as a college student, whereas you probably won't relate as much with a mom. So if you're following people that you share interests with, this is a great way to do that because you're searching and you're seeing stuff that you find interesting, and then you're following those people, which means they're interested in the same thing as you. So that's my tip. I got to mute myself. I just heard my baby cry.
Yeah, that's so true. I really like that tool too because it's right there. As soon as you are on your Instagram and you see that the search area, all those pictures are right there, and it's like they have literally chosen these people for you. So that is a really good tip. And then the last thing about following is you want to keep your followers and unfollowers numbers kind of close. Don't like freak out or stress out about it because it's not like a deal breaker, but you don't want to be following 3,000 people and only have 400 followers. So a really good app that I like to use, I have an iPhone, I use followers, and then there's a section in there that says not following me back. And every day I go in there 3 times a day and I scroll all the way to the bottom and I unfollow until it won't let me. But it only lets you do 60 people at a time. So I do that 3 times a day to just try to keep my numbers kind of close. Again, it's just because it looks spammy. Like if somebody's going to follow you back and you are following way more people that are following you, then they feel like you're trying to sell them something. So just kind of keep an eye on that. Like, again, I use followers. I know for Samsung, I'll have to ask Shelby when she comes back. I know there's a different one for you guys. So just download that. It's a free app. but that's it. So you every single day, you want to be adding more and more people to your network, because again, the more people you add, the more people are going to see your post. And a lot of times I'm always so surprised. I will add people, and then literally that same day I will make a post about the cleanse or about something about a 90-day challenge, and I'll have people who just joined me or I just added that day who will comment on there. So I don't want to give you a number. I don't even give myself a number of how many people to follow, but I will say I probably follow probably like between 100 and 200 people every day. And if that number like freaks you out, it's okay, because it does sound kind of scary. But once you get the hang of following people, it's really not that bad. Like I will literally sit down for like 10 minutes and go through the whole thing, and I'll do it like 3 times a day. It does take me a little bit longer, only because like I do look for all those things. I make sure it's not a distributor, and like I have certain things that I look for. So it takes a little bit longer, but it's worth it to me to have quality people who are following me and who I'm following. So that's it for following. The next important thing is your pictures. So Instagram is pictures, Facebook is words. If you aren't posting quality pictures, and by quality I mean bright pictures, crispy pictures, then people aren't going to, one, they're not going to want to follow you, and two, they're just going to scroll right past you, like in their news feed. So I highly, highly, highly recommend Pick Tap Go. It is the best app on the planet for pictures. I absolutely love it. I think it's $2.99, but it is like the best $2.99 you'll ever spend for pictures. And I always do the same filters. I do, and I got all this from Melissa Billiou. I didn't like come up with this on my own, but I always do. Shoot, what are they called? Bright side, contrast, and crispity. Those are the 3 filters I use every single time, and it just makes your Instagram account look pretty. I wish I wasn't on my phone, or I would show you what my Instagram looks like while I'm talking. I'll try to pull it up over here. So anyways, Pick Tap Go, best app there is for pictures. And you can get that on Samsung too, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I think Shelby uses that. And this sounds like kind of ridiculous, but I'm telling you, if you can take pictures, I don't think I have Instagram on here. If you can take pictures in the light, or like if you're at home trying to take a selfie or wherever you're at, you want to be facing the light. You don't want it to be opposite, because then you're going to have like shadows behind you. And I know we're not in like photography business or anything, and it doesn't sound like a big deal, but people are like kind of snobby on Instagram, and they want your pictures to be really, really nice and clear and bright in order to follow you back. So just make sure your pictures look really nice. And then as for what to post, it's the exact same thing that we've always talked about. Same thing with Facebook. You want to be posting about your life. You want to be posting about the business opportunity and about the product. On Instagram, you do have to be a little bit more creative though. So my favorite tool for Instagram is Pinterest. Yesterday, I made a cleanse post. All I did was I went onto Pinterest. I searched summer bikini, and I used one of the pictures that popped up. Then I used one of my apps, and I put in 90-day detox. I just added that to the picture. Oh, I shared that with you guys in the team page. I added that to my picture, and that's what I use for my cleanse post, because nobody wants to see a picture of our cleanse bottle on Instagram. Well, really on Facebook either, but especially on Instagram, nobody wants to see that. They're just going to unfollow you. So I used that. I put like a little blurb below it about who wants to join the 90-day challenge with me. And guys, I got 11 potential customers from that post, which is crazy to me, because it was literally like I could say that exact same thing with the picture of the cleanse bottle, and I would probably get blocked by 11 people. So just make sure you're using Pinterest. Make sure, same thing with like hair, skin, and nails. Type in long hair or braids or whatever you want with hair, and then pick a really pretty picture, and either write something like in the picture using one of the apps. I think I use Font Candy the most, which I'm pretty sure that one's free. But or don't and just write something below, like in your little caption. But just you have to be a little bit more creative. Same thing with the business post. Like people want to see you. Selfies are like really big on Instagram, which when I started, I was not a selfie well, I'm still not a selfie person. I really don't enjoy taking them. I have to take like 500 before I can actually like post one. But people want to see your face. Like they want to know who they're following. They want to feel like you're actually a person. So like try to throw in some selfies. I know Cassie Montoya, she just promoted to presidential and she works her business completely solely on Instagram. And her rule of thumb, you know how there are like 3 pictures in a row? She has to have one selfie in every single row, which I'm like, holy cow, like I cannot take that many good selfies. That's all I would do all day is take selfies. So that's just what she does because then people feel like they can relate to her and clearly it works for her. But you could always, if you're having like a good hair day or if your makeup's looking good, whatever it is, take a bunch of pictures and save them. Like take pictures at different angles and different spots, change your shirt, like be creative and just save all those pictures so you have them to use later. And then same thing if you have kids, if you have dogs, whatever it is that like is in your life, take pictures so people can see what you're up to. That's the whole thing. Is people, I forgot who said this, but Instagram and Facebook is like the new reality show of this century. Like people want to follow your life. They want to know what you're doing, what you're eating, who you're hanging out with, what your kids are doing that day. Like, but so you want to do all that and then incorporate the business at the same time. And as long as you're creative with it, as long as your posts aren't like too salesy, if you don't have those like stock ads that say like join my team for $99, you'll get followers. So okay, so we talked about how to follow people, the ratio of followers to unfollowers, making sure your pictures are nice and bright and pretty. We talked about what did we just talk about? That how to post. Sorry, I'm like really losing it. How to post, what to post. Now, how often is very different on Instagram than it is on Facebook. So there are a lot of ambassadors who post every hour. Jocelyn Yates posts like literally a picture an hour. I personally don't do that, but there's nothing wrong with doing it, obviously. Again, it's working for her. But you want to post multiple times a day. People are on at all different times. And like I said before, there's 600 million people on Instagram. How many different time zones are there? And that's like in the world. So there are time zones. Every time zone is on Instagram at some point. So if you are going to bed at 11 o'clock at night and you're like, oh, it's too late to post now. It's not. There's people who are, it's 7 o'clock somewhere, it's 4 o'clock somewhere, it's morning time somewhere. So don't ever not post because of the time, because there are a million people who are awake and on Instagram. But you also are, you're reaching different audiences too, like every time you post. So my suggestion for you, if you are, because I know we have a lot of people who work full time, if that is the case, there's a couple different ways around it, but I would suggest making a schedule for yourself. Just definitely treat this like a business, because it is, and make it a priority to post, because guys, if you're not posting, then your business is closed. It's just like having your close sign turned on at a brick and mortar store. So wake up 5 minutes earlier than you normally do and make a post on Instagram. It is not, I feel like I'm sounding kind of harsh. It's not that hard, but if you want to at nighttime, go ahead and schedule your post. Like go ahead and pick the picture that you want to use, pick the blurb, caption, whatever you want to say, have it ready, so that when you wake up in the morning, you literally just copy and paste it and you're good to go. So do it then, like 5 minutes before you normally wake up. And then let's see, you're going to drive to work. you at some point will have a lunch break, so post again on your lunch break. And then if you can one more time, like if you go to the bathroom or whatever it is, try to post one more time. And then when you get home from work while you're cooking dinner, make a post and then post right before bed. But you want to make sure that you are at least posting in the morning, at noon, and at night. Like if nothing else, you want to make sure you're at least doing that. And there are so many different people to follow. If you guys need help or ideas with like what to post, if you need picture ideas, you can take anything of mine. If you're posting it on Facebook, the only thing is to make sure you change up the, because it messes with the algorithm. So my post won't be seen anymore, but neither will yours. So just make sure if you are doing it on Facebook to switch it up. But for Instagram, I don't really think that's a thing. Like I haven't heard anything about that. So take whatever you want from me. I know Shelby is the same way. She doesn't care if you use her post, Rochelle, like anybody who you follow and you like their posts or they have good pictures, go ahead and take them. But then also, I personally follow Alyssa Bilyeu on Instagram because she's like my inspiration on there. I already told you Cassie Montoya is amazing. Courtney Bohr is awesome. These people are all like literally Instagram, like for real Instagram queens. They do everything on there. So just find some leaders that you really like, Ashley Hughes, Susan Lade, whoever it is that you guys really like, go to their Instagram and get ideas. And then I think that's it for posting. Now, one tip, if we ever have like a BOGO or like some kind of special, or if you post a before and after picture, go back like 3 hours later and delete the picture. There's like a thing that says after it's between like 3 to 6 hours. People aren't really seeing that picture anymore. It's kind of getting lost like in Instagram world. So if you're posting a picture like that, like a BOGO wrap, or if it's some kind of special that we have, or before and after picture, go back later and delete it so that your account doesn't look too spammy. So that's it for posting. Now, as for connecting, this is also a huge part of Instagram. You have to make sure you're engaging with people. Now, obviously, when you have 4, 5, 6,000, even 1,000 followers, you're not going to be able to talk to every single person on there. But what I do is every time I go on Instagram, before I post, before I do anything else, before I message, I scroll through my newsfeed really quick and I like the first 30 pictures, and then I try to comment on at least 4 or 5. Again, trying to make sure they're like genuine comments. Don't like leave random things that seem weird. But make sure you're doing that so that, because people want you to interact with them. And it'll make them be like, oh, who's this person who's liking my picture? Let me go check them out. So every time I get on, I try to do that. The first 30 people, I try to like their stuff. I try to comment on a few people. And then no, I think that's it for liking and engaging. Oh, well, if somebody comments on one of your pictures, always respond to them. Like even if they're telling you, wow, that looks delicious, respond to them and say, oh my gosh, it was so good, or whatever it is that sounds like you, whatever they're commenting about, respond to them, because it's like kind of rude not to, and it starts like building a little bit of a relationship. So then later, not like right away, but like a few hours later, maybe go to their page and then comment on their most recent picture. And again, it just kind of starts a dialogue, and they start to feel like they're getting to know you a little bit. And then the last thing I have to say, well, it probably won't be the last thing, but the last subject I want to talk about is messaging. So this is the part where I feel like you guys may or may not do this already. Again, do what works for you. But I personally message my followers. So I know some people are taught to message people who like on their posts and say like, hey, thanks for the love on my post, blah, blah, blah. And not that that's wrong in any way. It just didn't work for me. I tried it like the first 6 months I was in the business, and I got like a lot of weird responses from that. People either were like, oh, like I didn't realize what your post was, I was just liking it. or they would block me, or like it just got awkward. And I was like, okay, this is not working for me. However, I know that it does work for some people. But what I do is I'm anybody who I'm following and they have decided to follow me back is fair game. So I will go to my followers and I scroll all the way down because the people on the very bottom of your list have been following you the longest. And I start there. And I will click on their profile. If they are somebody who I think would be really good on my team, and what I mean by that is they post, they have followers, they seem like a positive person, then I will message them. And I don't want to say I use the same script all the time because I don't want to try to personalize it, but the base message that I use is just a very simple, quick, hey, and I always use their name. Let's say, hey, Sally, I hope you don't think I'm crazy for messaging you, but I had to reach out to you because I think you'd be awesome at what I do. Are you interested in hearing some info about a business opportunity where you can make some extra money from home? Something like that. But try to like throw in a little extra. Like if you can try to relate to them a little bit more, don't make it a huge long message, but throw in something maybe to personalize that a little bit. But that's what I say to people who I think like I would want on my team. Now, for people who I go to their profile and they like haven't posted in 3 months, they don't really have a lot of followers, they just aren't very active, then I send them the product model post, which I'm pretty sure everybody in here has that. But if you're not, if you don't have it, I know it's in our team page somewhere. I'll find it for you. But I send them the product model message, and that's to get a customer. So I do that every single day. Again, I don't like have a certain number. I don't like make myself message a certain amount of people because then it becomes not that fun. But I do it to the point where I've at least given 3 people or sent 3 people a PDT video, which means that we have interacted, they're interested in a business, they want more information, and now I'm going to send them the video. So I try to send at least 3 people. Of course, the more people you send it to, the more people who are going to watch it, and the more people who will be interested in the business. So definitely don't limit yourself to that. But I would say I try to do them in increments of 10. So I'll sit down, I'll quickly message to 10 people, and I have these things saved in my phone to make it easier for me. And then I'll go do some other stuff. Then when it's time to message again, I'll sit down, I'll go through the whole thing again. I'll follow people, I'll comment, I'll like, I'll unfollow people, and then I'll do 10 more messages. And then if I've had a busy day and I can only do that 3 times a day, then that means I've messaged 30 people. So I'll do it again before bedtime. I will comment, I'll like, I'll follow, I'll unfollow, and then I'll message 10 people. So you'll just have to find a system that works for you, but just always keep in mind that the more people you are talking to, the more people who are going to join your business and who are going to order products from you. And that only works if you do everything else. If you're interacting, if you're posting pictures about your family, about your life, about what the business is doing for you, about what the products are doing for you. Because of course, in this business, I know this is kind of going off topic, but you want to be a product of the product. I actually had somebody today who is interested in ThermoFit. And I mean, this happens all the time, but it was just today that she said, well, what have you ever tried it? And I was like, yeah, I actually take it every day. And she was like, well, how does it make you feel? Does it make you too like hyper in the morning? Like people want to know that you have tried the product, and they're going to ask you questions, and you're going to be clueless if you've never tried it. I'm not suggesting to go get off the Zoom and order every product we have. Just start with 1 at a time or 2 at a time, whatever your budget allows, and post about it. So if it's the shake, then, which I highly suggest, that thing's delicious. But if that's what you get, then you're gonna have to start posting about it. Use Instagram story. That's a really good one too, because then a lot more people see it. But also, I don't want to say you can be more like salesy because I never want people to be salesy, but like I would put like a little boomerang of me blending my shake on my Instagram story rather than in my news feed because I don't like how it makes my profile look. I'm kind of like weird about that, I guess. But people can message you from that. So if you put that on your story, one, you can see everybody who's looked at it, and two, people can send you a message right from there. So make sure that you guys are utilizing that too. I actually need to be better about doing that every day because I don't. But anyways, the point is whatever product you guys are using or are going to use, make sure that you are like taking a selfie with it or however creative way you can come up with so that when it comes time, one, you can show your results, and two, when it comes to people asking you what you like about the product and how it made you feel, then you can like genuinely tell them what it's done for you. And I thought of something else I was gonna say while I was talking about that, and then I can't remember. Oh well, I don't remember what it was. So let me make sure I didn't forget anything. We talked about following, unfollowing. Shelby, while I'm thinking, do you have anything else to add? Are you still on here? Oh, there she is. Wait, is she frozen for you guys? Oh, there she is. Hi. Do you have anything else to add while I'm trying to gather the rest of
I'm trying to think if I do. Oh, okay. So one thing that I was thinking of when you were talking is I two things because something else just popped in my head. But one thing is sometimes I message people the same way Ashley went over how she does, and then other times I message people who have liked my posts, which is the way she said she doesn't really do it anymore, but I send them the same exact message as I would that Ashley shared. So what I mean by that is so let's say they liked my post from yesterday about me getting to work from my phone while I sit on the couch and my boys are watching a movie or whatever. And they liked that. Well, I'll message them, but I won't say like, hey, I saw you liked my post. I'll send that same post that Ashley said that's like, hey, blah, 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 like this might sound crazy, but I just think you'd be really good at what I do. So basically, I'm not like acknowledging the fact that they saw my post, but I'm still using all the people that did see my post as leads. So I like to mix it up. Sometimes I'll just like scroll through my followers and start at a certain point and just message and send them that script that I just said. Or some days I'll literally go back to my old posts from the last couple of days and just go through, and everyone who liked it, I'll message them. But I never send a script that says like, hey, thanks for the love on my post. Like I never really acknowledge that they liked my post. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually do that too sometimes.
And then the second thing that I had to like go rush out real quick and grab my baby. So you might have already went over this, but I think that for following up, did we talk about following up at all?
No.
Okay. I think like follow up is very, 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 very important. And it's like another piece to the puzzle that if you're not following up, you have to do all these things. You can't just do one. Like you can't just post. You can't just follow, and you can't just message. You also have to follow up. That's like the fourth piece. I mean, there's also commenting and liking. So really it's like the fifth piece of the puzzle that you have to do. And also you can't follow up once. Like if you follow up once and somebody actually signs up as a distributor or a loyal customer, that's rare. It's very, very rare, and you're very, that was a rare occurrence. Or if somebody signs up on the spot, now you're really lucky. But it normally takes at least 5 follow-ups, you guys, at least 5. And I used to follow up every Friday. We have a thing that we call Follow-Up Friday, and it's amazing. I would just have all my people that I talked to throughout the week listed on my Friday and my calendar, and I would follow up with them all. Well, lately, I have been following up with people every 2 days, which before I was like, oh, I'm going to be bothering people or whatever. And then I was like, hold on, like, this is my job. Like, I'm going to follow up with these people. So now I follow up with people every 2 days, and it's like, I can see it working so incredibly well. And it's like people, you think like, oh, I don't want to annoy people. Well, just don't say annoying stuff to them. Like, you don't have to message them and be like, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready today? Are you ready now? Do you want to do this now? You know, like, change up what you're saying. Like today, I messaged somebody that I messaged 2 days ago who still didn't respond to me. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I'll just push them back for 2 more days. And then I was like, wait, no, I'm going to message them. So I just changed up what I said to them a little bit. I don't even remember what I said. I think I was just like I think she was interested in, oh, okay. So I sent her the script that was like, hey, will you pick a category for me and be a product model? And she said, yeah, sure. What are the products? And I was like, well, here's the different categories. This is like the initial conversation we had. Well, here's the categories. Do any of these interest you? And then I can kind of share with you what the actual product is. And then no response after that. And then so today I was like, sorry, I'm getting like text messages that are blowing up my phone. Okay, so then today I was like, ugh, she didn't respond to me. Maybe I should wait 2 more days before I like quote unquote bother her again. And then I was like, no, I'm messaging this lady again. So I messaged her, and instead of being like, hello, why didn't you pick any of the categories? Like, let's do this. I mean, obviously I wouldn't say that, but you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to message her and be like, hey, just checking back in. Have you picked a category yet? Like, no, she clearly hasn't picked a category. So instead I said like, hey, Tanya, I have one spot left today for the hair, skin, and nails. Do you want to take it? You know, like something really simple like that, where now I'm not giving her this like laundry list of things that she can pick from, because clearly that wasn't working for her. Like today I got really like down to the nitty gritty and basically picked a product for her. And I haven't been back on my messages to see if she replied yet or not, but you know what I mean? Like, just mix it up, and then you're not bothering them. Now you're just giving them more and more options until they finally just do it. Okay, so there was that, and then I think the only other thing I was going to say is you guys
Wait.
have to what?
Sorry, before you move on, I just want to say one quick thing about follow-up.
Okay.
Just like Shelby just said, make sure every time you guys follow up that you are changing it up. Like, don't be weird and say like, okay, are you ready today? And then 3 days later say, hey, Michelle, are you ready to blah, blah, blah. So one thing really quick, just like Shelby said, the whole, okay, sorry, I can't read that. But yes,
We're all like, what?
saying you have one spot left is always a good one. And the other one that normally works really well for me is, hey, Michelle, I know you're really interested in ThermoFit. I'm actually on my computer right now placing an order for somebody else, and I can do yours at the same time too. Are you ready? Do you want me to go ahead and tell you what I need to get your account started? Like always be on your computer, basically, because then like that's like the perfect follow-up. Hey, I'm actually already on my computer, even though I'm actually like outside on a slip and slide. It's fine. Just something like that, so that every time you're messaging them, they're changing it, because sorry if Shelby already said this, but it takes oh yeah, she did 7 to 21 times to follow up with before somebody like actually does it. So anyways, that was just a side note. Make sure you guys are changing up your follow-ups, and that is one that really works well for me too. Okay, continue.
The other thing that I was going to say is it's really important to try to figure out a system that works for you and just get really super organized. And so for people that aren't very organized, that can be tough. And now you're like, ugh, now I have another thing I have to do. Now I have to be organized too. Like, but I am the worst at being organized as far as like all the people that I talk to, because the truth is if you're talking to enough people, you should never really feel 100% organized, because you're like just talking to so many people that like someone texts you the next day and is like, hey, so I'm ready to sign up. You should be like, in your head, you should be like, crap, I don't even know who this person is. And you have to like check your notes. Like that's how many people you should be talking to. But it's really important to try to get as organized as you can and just kind of use your own method that works for you. Like Ashley's tried, I'm like, Ashley, I need to get organized. Like, tell me what you do. And she's tried to tell me like 4 times. And I'm just like, I don't get it. Like what do you mean you write down their names every day? Like, I don't get her method of madness. So I'm like at 3 years later and I'm still trying to find my own like organization pattern or whatever. But in the last couple of days that's horrible to say, in the last couple of days, I've been doing this for 3 years and I'm like, but in the last 2 days, but seriously, like in the last like week, I've been trying to get really, really super organized. And I just notice, maybe I just feel better because I am more organized now. But like I feel like I've noticed things changing in my business too. Like I feel like I'm talking to more people, because when you're not organized, like if you go message 30 people, so let me give you an example. This is what I was doing, is I would message 30 people. That's kind of like my goal every day, is 30 people. I would message, and then I would be like, cool, I got that done, like check. And then I would like forget about them basically. And then the next day, some would respond and some wouldn't. So I would like respond back when I could, but then I was like messaging 30 more. And then I was randomly responding to them. And and then on follow up Friday, I would just try to be like scrolling through and like figuring out like who I haven't talked to yet and who I have. And I was just like, there was just people all over the map. And what I was realizing was happening is I was like finding people from like 3 months ago that I was like, hey, I know this is random, but yada, yada, yada. And they'd be like, yeah, send me the video. And I'd send them the video, and then that was it. So like they could have been really interested at the time, but I never followed up with them because they just kind of like fell off. And now, and now I message them 3 months later and they like don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. And I have to like start the whole conversation over, or now they're not even replying because they're like, this lady's crazy, or they're like, oh, sorry, I already signed up on someone else's team because you like failed to return my message. So it's a really long story short, just do your best to be as organized as you can, because it's going to help you sign people when you're having like normal conversations with them, and it's not like a 10-day conversation just to send them a video and see what they thought about it.
Okay, the last thing I want to say to you guys is Instagram from day one has been my go-to. Like, I just love everything about it. I watch YouTube videos every day, and I still do, by the way. Jocelyn Yates and Jade Hooper are the 2 people I listen to every single day when it comes to Instagram. I got it way. I just loved everything about it. Facebook is not like that for me. I still utilize it, I still post, I still do everything else, but my point is, find what works best for you guys. If this is very overwhelming for you and you're like rocking it on Facebook and you're getting people who are friending you back, you're messaging people, they're messaging you back, whatever it is. If you guys are killing it on Facebook, yes, you still want to use Instagram because, again, there's 600 million people on there. But don't stop working Facebook to start working Instagram. Definitely do what works for you. So bottom line is, work both of them, but focus on the one that is working for you. And you'll know what that is. If you're brand new or if you haven't really found your niche yet, you'll figure it out if you give 100% to, I don't want to say this the wrong way, but like if you haven't found it yet, if you give your all to one of those platforms, you will figure it out. Just don't let the other one go to the back burner. You do want to keep that other one active too. So just you guys will figure out whatever works best for you. And I think that's it. Like I went over all the things that I have written down on my notes. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. And I hope that once you start utilizing these tips that you guys start realizing, like seeing a difference in your business. Because it has literally been like how I built my whole business. Whoops.
I'm trying to think. Oops. Could I interrupt you?
No, that's it, unless you have anything else to add.
I was just gonna, no, I don't have anything to add. I was gonna say, everybody smile really quick because I'm gonna take a pic. Actually, right now, just Mercedes, Ashley, and Kristen Champagne campaign. Smile real quick. Cheese. And then, sorry guys, it's ridiculous, but okay, now Nicole, Rachel, Gloria, and Alyssa. Smile, smile, smile. Alyssa, you keep driving.
Keep driving.
Felicia, you're on a page where everyone's like off the camera for me, so you're just gonna be by yourself. Smile. Smile. Okay, hold on. My first one messed up. So Mercedes, Ashley, and Kristen. This is so ridiculous. Okay, here we go. One more time. Last time. Got it. Nailed it. Okay.
I have a question.
Randy. Okay, go ahead. Ask your question.
Oh, by the way, I love that there is a BB Bubs there, and then you have your glass of wine or whatever you have. Okay, my bad, Ashley. If you went over this, did you talk about how long you wait until, like, say you follow a new person and you're liking and you're commenting? Do you have like a time frame in mind that you wait until you think it's good to message them, or do you know what I'm trying to spit out of my mouth?
No, I did not talk about that. That's a good question. So here's what I do. Because I'm adding kind of a lot of people every day, I don't write down everybody's names anymore. That was insane. But what I'll do is if I'm ready to message, I'll click on my followers. I get to wherever I'm at, I'll click on that person. If I have liked their last 5 pictures in a row, that means that I probably just started following them, because that's what I do every time I start following somebody. Does that make sense? So I won't message them. But if I click on their profile and there's 3 pictures, like their last 3 pictures I haven't liked, and then I liked 5 in a row, then they've posted 3 times, so it's probably been a few days, then they're fair game. I'll message them. So that's how I've been doing it for like the past 6-7 months. And I have literally never had somebody say like, you just added me and now you're messaging me, because I can tell if I've just added them.
And you just send them like, hey, blah, 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 that same spiel, like you don't try to start like a friendly little conversation with them. Like I can't like find a balance on this yet.
Okay. Here's the thing.
I'll tell you what I do.
Okay.
I never message people a friendly little spiel. Like I'll have conversation, by conversations I mean like I'll comment on their stuff and be, like, your kids are so cute, blah blah blah, whatever. But I'm not gonna message somebody and be like, hey, your kids are so cute, and then like try to have a conversation with them. And this is for Instagram, because Facebook's different for me. But for Instagram, I'm never gonna try to do that and then be like, oh, by the way, this is so random, but I think you'd be awesome at this. Because I feel like I don't know, like on Instagram, because I just feel like no matter how long you have been following them or not, it just seems unauthentic to me. And I've actually had a lot of people say that, where it's like, either just come right out and say that you're interested in, asking me to join your business, or don't even message me at all. Like they know that you're like doing this friendly little spiel just to like talk to them about the business, so that's my 2 cents on it. Ashley might have something different, but I mean, I will also say that like with the script that we give you guys, it's always a really good idea to add a friendly little piece into that. So like if you notice it's a mom with 2 kids, then you can say something like, hey, I know this is totally random, but I think you'd be awesome at what I do. And oh, by the way, like I have 2 kids too, and I'm able to stay home and make a full-time income while I'm home with them, like something that's very relatable to them. So like to me, that's as friendly as my spiel is going to get. Like I'm not going to give them this like fake little message that makes them feel like we're besties, because to me it's just like unauthentic.
Yeah, I'm the same way, Kristen. I never randomly message somebody to tell them that I like their hair or like your shoes are like, I love that purse. Where'd you get it? And then they answer me and I'm like, awesome. Do you want to join my business? Like it's very awkward transition. And just like Shelby said, it is very obvious. So if you, Kristen, I don't know if you do that, but if you are trying to like, because you're doing it to build a relationship. Like I get why you're doing it, but that's what commenting is for. So just make sure that and on top of that, Instagram isn't like as personal as Facebook. So you don't have to know their whole life story before you message them about the business. Make sure that you've at least interacted with them a little bit, even if all you've done is like their pictures, and then you can message them. But otherwise, things get weird. They get weird. You get weird. The whole thing's weird.
Yeah.
And I just think it's like, I'm not going to lie, like if I'm messaging 30 people a day and I've been doing this for 3 years, every now and then you're going to get a salty person that's like, oh my God, you're like the 10th It Works girl to message me this week. And it's like, okay, well, that just means that we all think you would be amazing at this. Like just be like, well, that just means that you'd be amazing at this. Like that would be your response or whatever. Or I just think you would be amazing. I don't know about those other girls, but I think you'd be awesome at this, and that's why I messaged you. But
I said that the other day.
But the thing is like, don't be scared of that, because that just means that they don't need this. Or they don't think they need this business. So just keep moving on to the people that do. That's the beauty, in my opinion, that's the beauty of Instagram, is there's millions and millions and millions and millions of people. So like anybody that's salty towards you, like just move on, because there's people that actually really, really, really need this business, and you're looking for them. So don't waste your time, don't waste your time with people that don't need this. And I don't like, Rochelle is very, very big on like the pushback. So if somebody's like, you're the 10th person or whatever, then, say something to them to make them feel like, well, I might be the 10th person, but I'm the person that you wanted to join with, like give them a reason why you're the one, but so don't just write them off. But what I mean by that is like, there's so many people on Instagram that, you don't have time to be just like sitting around being like, oh, well, that person, or even like, I don't even want to message people because I'm so worried that I'm going to be bothering them. It's Instagram. Like, who cares if you bother somebody? Like, move on to the next person, because like I said, if you keep it in the back of your mind that the people who need this are more important than the people that give you a little bit of grief, then that's what'll drive you and keep you messaging. Because you guys, I promise you, there's desperate moms, there's desperate college students, there's desperate dads, there's people who are drowning in debt waiting for you to find them. So just like keep that in the back of your head and let that be the thing that pushes you forward, especially on the days where you do get someone who's a little bit, sour to you.
True that.
Okay, guys, we're like 5 minutes past 10:30. Well, whatever time it is, wherever you are. We only like to go for an hour. So I hope you guys got a lot out of this tonight. I love these team Zooms, and I'm so glad that we're doing them again. And next week we have some very, it's like we have special plans for next week. Me, Ashley, and Rochelle are all going to be in the same town. So we're hoping to do like a special Zoom for you next week. It'll probably be either Thursday. Wait, I don't know when it's going to be, but we're hoping to do this next week. We just got to kind of get our act together. But, you know, if we don't get our act together, don't be mad if it doesn't happen, but get really excited because hopefully it will happen. Okay. All right. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great night. Hope you have a great Friday and a great rest of the weekend. Don't forget that your business is open 7 days a week, not just Monday through Friday. So have fun getting to work this weekend too. Bye, everybody. Oh, I get so confused with these messages. I'm like, wow. Okay. Anyways, bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.